Welcome back to Jacking In with Geography. I'm your host, Jack Filson, and today we're going to be talking about what is the most awe-inspiring landform in my opinion. And I know I said last episode is going to be waterfalls, but I've had a change of heart. It's going to be lakes. Today, oh my god, something just fell. Today we're going to be talking about lakes. Anyways, mind that. Today we're talking about lakes and why I believe that they are the most awe-inspiring landform and maybe have some personal connection to them. So let's get into it. Now, in Canada, we have the most lakes in the world, which is kind of crazy. And 5 of the biggest ones in the world being, the Great Lakes, hence the name. And there are 2 lakes I want to talk about in particular that I have just really liked. Number 1 being Lake Louise. Now, I'd say this is more of, I would say, a pretty well-known lake. And I think now that I'm thinking about the picture for the video is going to be just a picture of the lake. That lake. And it's pretty cool. And the story of how I saw it was I was visiting my sister who was working at the Fairmont there, the big hotel. She was server. And we went to see her because we were doing a road trip through there to get to BC. And we were like, yeah, why don't we just stop and visit her because she's working there. And it was in August 2023, so the year before grade 9. Not the year before, the summer before grade 9. Anyways, so it was kind of hyped up a bit. I saw it in pictures. Obviously, I looked it up. We're going to this awesome lake. Might as well be cool. And honestly, the pictures don't do it justice. I mean, miss me, you've probably seen it. But honestly, it's insane. Like, the water is so cool. That nice light blue color, it honestly looks like a painting. And what was cool about it is that it did honestly look surreal, but it almost looked like too good. Like it was like AI. No, it wasn't AI. But when I saw it, I don't know, like it was honestly breathtaking to me because it was just such I'd never seen a lake like that before. And it was like picture perfect. You see the forests in the background with the glaciers feeding into it. And it's just really cool. And it is actually that color because of the glacial rock in the lake, and that reflects the nice like light blue, almost turquoise color. And the most reasonable thing when you see an awesome lake is to go in it. And I didn't swim in it because we weren't there for that long, but I didn't have swim trunks on. But I did take off my socks and shoes and step into it because other people were doing it. So I was like, might as well I do it. And I don't know, and I will never forget that lake. I'm also okay, this is kind of cheating, but I'm also including golfs and including in with the lakes. So lakes and golfs, most all-inspiring landform, lakes and golfs. Because I have another story about a golf that I went to. And they're kind of the same. Not really, but I need more content. So anyways, that was Lake Louise. And I would say it was pretty awe-inspiring. My awe was inspired. And it was a good rest of the day afterwards to the lake. We walked around for a bit. Had dinner at the Fairmont. Had this really yummy kind of like chocolate souffle thing. Or chocolate mousse. It was more chocolate mousse. And then we left. And I think the Lake Louise picture, I was talking to my mom about this, and she says everybody takes that picture. She took that picture. Everybody takes it. And that was Lake Louise, And then the next lake I want to talk about is Lake Nipissing. I know, kind of an unknown lake. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. It's fine if you don't. I didn't know about it until I actually went fishing there. And fishing was a big thing between me and my dad. I know you're probably wondering why I say it was. It's not bad. I'll get to it. But so yeah, so we went to like Nipissing. It's near like North Bay. Yeah, North Bay area. Kiwanis, another area near there. Oh wait, no, not Kiwanis, not Kawartha. I forget. Anyways, Lake Nipissing. So yes, I have been. We went fishing there over the summer when I wasn't working for like about a week or so, and it wasn't the best fishing. I mean, we didn't really know what we were doing half the time, but it was still enjoyable. It was still fun. And the lake, oh my goodness, the lake was really nice. But like, if you know the term like wabi sabi, which I think I've mentioned before, it was nice in that kind of sense. Not like Lake Louise sense, where like it's just like breathtakingly nice. It had some flaws to it, but when you're on a boat and you see the sunset go down, it's honestly awesome. Like, I have this one picture, which may or may not be there, depending on how I edit this, where it looks like someone painted it. That's how good it looks there when the sun sets. Like, it's honestly insane. And it is and that to me is what awe-inspiring is. When you can remember that and connect it to something that you did, that to me is awe-inspiring. And it was. And the fishing was good. Mostly pike, some bass. We were aiming for walleye, but we didn't really catch them that much. But my fishing days are over, I'm afraid. Personally, I never really liked it that much. I mean, I did have a ton of choice to do in the summer before I started working because camp's kind of a lot, and fishing is relatively inexpensive. But I still have good memories from it. I'm not a big fan of it anymore, I would say. And my dad likes to joke that he ruined fishing for me, which is not true, but still pretty funny. He didn't ruin fishing. He didn't really do anything. He just took me fishing. Like, if I had to choose, I'm not gonna go again. I mean, like, I will, and I'll get to that, like, the conditions of why I will. But being on that lake, creating those memories, seeing the beauty in nature and what it can be was really interesting. Like, the fact that it's even, like, conceivable to think that lake can look like something that was drawn or written with that much detail, because that's where we get the detail from when we're doing landscape, is that. And that's what we want to see when we're going to these places. But yeah, I've always remember like Nipissing in the Nipissing area. And it was really nice, I had a good time. Probably not gonna go back anymore. Just because of like free will and like choice. But I had a really good time fishing and seeing the lake and being on the lake, really. Like, I kind of like driving around, just like bumming around the lake more than I did the actual fishing. But I still like fishing, just not a ton. Speaking of fishing and the Gulf, now we're moving to Florida. Last year, I went to Florida over the March break, and I went like not deep sea fishing, but like we went to the Gulf of America now. Freaking Trump making it America. But that's what it's called, so I'm trying to be correct here. And me and my mom went fishing. And the switch up, you'd think it'd be my dad, but nope, it was my mom. We went fishing. It was a guided thing, so like I'm not like going in the Gulf of America, just me and my mom. But it was really nice, and the pictures I took, and like just the water and the open area, like it wasn't even like we were pretty far out, so much where it was like water all around you, and that feeling I think is so interesting, where you can kind of look around you like full 360 and see nothing but water. That was pretty cool. And we achieved that in the Gulf of America. And the water there is so nice. Like, it's clear, it's blue. It kind of looks like Kool-Aid a bit. I would say not as blue as Lake Louise, but like bluer than Lake Nipissing. And Lake Nipissing is cool because of the sunsets you get there. And where like the water turns like purple, orange, pink because of the sunset. But this was just like pure blue in the Gulf of America. And the fishing was fun too. I mean, it was guided. There were some like pros next to us. They gave us squids to fish with, like small squids. And I caught a haul, got some fish, some mostly snapper. But no, it was a good time. And the golf was really nice. And if I had the chance, I would go back. And the fish was pretty good too. We ate it later because we were allowed to keep some of them. And the fish was pretty good too. I think it was mostly perch, like, not perch, but red perch. I don't know. They had a name. They were small. And what was really cool was that they cut the fish up for you. So you take home the fillets and they feed the carcasses to the pelicans there. And it's really cool. And I took a slow-mo video of it because it's really funny. But that's besides the point. I feel like this episode I'm kind of like not really talking about the lakes. But I feel like there's only so much I can talk about here. And the lakes are really cool. And the golf. So I think they're all unique in their own way. Lake Louise, just like purely beautiful. Like, honestly, top 5 most beautiful places I've ever been to. Lake Nipissing, it has that like wabi-sabi memories that I have. And just the insane sunsets there. And then the Gulf of America, just that like being lost feeling at sea, I think is a feeling I've never really got anywhere else. And I think that's what makes those lakes awe-inspiring. They each in their own way. And I think that's the beauty of lakes, is that they're all different in their own way. Like, no lake is alike. And I think that's pretty cool. As for Lake Ontario and Toronto, I mean, it's cold and there's E. coli, so that's why I really didn't talk about Lake Ontario. I just think that Wasaga Beach is, I think, in Lake Huron. And Wasaga Beach is nice. If I had the option, I'm going to Wasaga Beach every time over Lake Ontario. But now I'm getting off topic. Anyways, so for those 3 reasons, I think that's what makes lakes so interesting, is that they're all unique in their own way. And you get that a lot in nature, but I think in lakes more so, just because they're all different. And it's really what you bring to these lakes that makes it different. Like fishing, family, adventure, all that comes from being in a lake or golf. And that's what makes it awe-inspiring. And I think I've said that like 4 times of what everything's making it awe-inspiring. And I think it really sums up that I'm really implementing this broken record. That's why they're awe-inspiring. And it's why they really are. Anyways, that is that episode. And it's about lakes and golfs. If you were hoping that it was going to be about waterfalls, I'm sorry. Next episode on my mind, I don't really know what it's going to be about because we do not have December prompts yet. And so I will probably film it, record it in January in Florida. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, that has been another successful episode of Jacking In to Geography. Again, I'm your host, Jack Folson, and next episode is going to be about